Hey guys, so welcome back to another speed build. This one is an interesting one. It's a residential lot and it's only one floor. I do like to do multiple floors usually, but this one's kind of interesting, and it's also weird because if you look from above, it's honestly just a rectangle. The only interesting part about it is this front section, and I even add a little planter in here, which I think is quite nice. I don't know how realistic it is considering it's in the shade, but there's some plants that, work well in shade, but it's kind of nice. So the entrance is I think it's really unique. I mean, it's on this flat side, but then there's a diagonal section, and that's where I put the planter. So it's a little bit interesting. I actually saw a picture that looked similar to this, so I kind of based it off of that. I'm not sure if it's a real house or if it's a rendering, but yeah, and I just decided to do something similar, but I didn't look on the inside, so I think the inside looks completely different. So yeah, the inside I just did whatever I wanted to, and yeah. So I really didn't do that much with the exterior. I think I go back a little bit later to try to figure out how to not make it look like a box. So I do a little bit of some stuff, but not too much. And then now I'm just doing the floor plan. And this, I had an idea of what I wanted, but I just wasn't completely sure how to get there. So as you can see, I'm doing very detailed work in terms of the floor plan. I really wanted to include 3 bedrooms, and it was a little bit tricky doing that, but I eventually got there. One of the bedrooms is a little bit on the small side, I would say, but I think it's still fine. And a unique thing about this house is that all the bedrooms have a bathroom, so you don't have to share with anybody. And in fact, the guest bathroom is a completely separate bathroom as well. So this house has 3 bedrooms and it has 4 completely full bathrooms. So no sharing bathrooms, and the hall bathroom has a shower in it as well. So that's kind of cool. Another cool feature about this house is that it has a central courtyard, which opens up to the outdoors, because this house doesn't actually have that many windows, and the windows it does have are pretty small. So I really like the idea of that central courtyard that actually brings in the natural sunlight into the home, because it otherwise would be a very, very dark home. So yeah, anyways, just putting the huge lights on, just for some light inside so I can see, but I kind of do that just because they get in the way, so I'll make sure to do lighting, because I think there's been some couple of builds that I've done, I don't know if on camera, but there's been a couple of builds that I've just put lights there to light up the place and not necessarily for actual lights in my build, but then I completely forgot to take them out. So yeah, now I just use really intrusive lights just to make sure I actually change them out. But this is the kitchen, and as you saw earlier, I actually used that marble countertop as kind of a little feature on the island. I just decided to do that because the island just looked bland without it. And then here I am doing this cool thing. I really like the idea of putting that tall, that tall cabinet, and then smushing the fridge into it. So the idea is good, but in actuality, it doesn't really work. That really sucks. I tried so much to make my Sims try to open up the fridge, but they just couldn't. I tried to make them cook some food, but then they just, wave their hands around. So sadly, that doesn't work. In the video and in the screenshots, it has the fridge in the cabinet, but I think if you download it, yeah, the download, it won't have the cabinet or the fridge in the cabinet. It'll just have a regular cabinet, which sucks though, because the fridges I feel are really oddly shaped. Cabinets can't really fit around it, and also if you put a countertop next to a fridge, for some reason it doesn't touch it. I think in The Sims 3 it did. It automatically would like attached to the refrigerator, but every single time I feel like I have to like freely place the refrigerator. So yeah. But anyways, I'm just going for a very neutral looking kitchen. It's just brown and black, and I really like it. And I've really been into these wheatgrass plants, and so I aligned like the countertops with those wheatgrass. And then here I put a lot of shelves, and I got so mad. This shelf gave me so much trouble. It looks like it's taking a really quick time, or yeah, it looks like it's taking a very short period of time, but this took me so long because they kept wanting to clip to the wall and they couldn't just like bring forward. So I kind of got a little bit fed up and just left it like that, which I don't completely actually mind. It's okay that some of the shelves are completely bare, but I would have liked to actually put things on the shelf. But yeah, and then now I put some of those lights, and I've actually never used those lights before, but I really like them in this kitchen. I think they work pretty well, and I added a lot of this spotlights so the kitchen is super bright. But this is the entrance, and I continued on with those cabinets. I've also never used those cabinets before, and I actually really like them. I think there's something cool about them, and yeah, I don't know if that's a base game item or not. I actually think it could be spotted, but I'm not sure. And yeah, so I know that Sims don't really have like an entrance, and they don't really put their coats in like a wardrobe or anything, but I really like the idea of it kind of looking like a real home, so I put that in there even though it has no use in The Sims. And then this was almost like a dead space that I just didn't know what to do with, so I just made it a sitting area. And in the download also, you might notice that the cactus is sized down. So I usually test all my items to make sure they work, and the Sim could not sit in that chair. I couldn't figure out why, but I finally just like removed all the items, and then yeah, I eventually realized it was because the that cactus was too big, and it said it was like obstructing like the little armchair. So yeah. And at this point I'm like trying to get some color in, although it keeps turning into a very black and white build. So I keep trying to add in like yellows and blues, but I think I removed the yellow altogether because in my first speed build on my channel, it actually is like a yellow and blue build. I don't think that I necessarily did it just because of that build, but yeah, I just changed everything to blue eventually. And then this is the large family room. And this was kind of fun. I really like the way the family room turned out. And yeah, one thing I really wish we had in The Sims 4, at least I wish I had, because there might be some bookshelves in the other games I don't have. But these bookshelves, they definitely don't look that modern. They're kind of modern, but I really wish like it wasn't a wood pattern, or if the wood was, I would have liked if the wood was like black or white. But I really like the idea of like floor to ceiling bookshelves, and yeah. And then here is the living room. I just put down a lot of items just to see which items I liked. But yeah. And sizing down the coffee table. I don't know if it's just me or if the coffee table is always like huge. Yeah, they always seem really big to me. So I sized down a lot of the coffee tables. And I also sized down the bedside tables. The bedside tables always seem like extremely large to me. So yeah. And then at this point I thought that like the family room and the dining room all just seemed to like merge into one another, and it seemed like really cold and there wasn't anything like interesting. So I made it like a sunken family room, which it's actually not that hard to do. I didn't know how to do it, but I found some videos about how to actually make a sunken room. So it really adds a little bit of like verticality to the build, and I really like the way it turned out. But I did have a little bit of troubles, like still trying to separate everything, just because the dining room and then the family room all just seemed to kind of merge together. So I tried adding things on the wall to make it look like a separate room. And yeah, so do I keep those yellow chairs? I'm actually not really sure. But this is one of the walls that I initially had trouble with, but as soon as I put down some items, I knew exactly what I wanted. So I found these items in like the decor area of, I don't know, the catalog, and I found just a lot of items that were more decorative. And then I just sort of created this section that is kind of interesting. I don't know. But I put cabinets along the floors, and then I just used like some decor items to just create something, which I really like. It's a really cool feature wall, and yeah, because otherwise it would have been a very like dull spot, but I really like the way it turns out. And yeah, so I'm playing around with colors a lot. I'm still not quite happy with the colors that I chose. I think at the end I just choose like blue as the main color, and that's really it. Yeah. And then also this family room was like huge, and I didn't really know what to put there, so I just put a keyboard. So yep. And just adding a little bit more stuff. So yeah, I'm really trying to separate the dining room and the family room because they share like one huge wall. So I'm adding a lot of little items to just sort of make it look different. And yeah, eventually I do add like an actual fence to completely like separate the two rooms. And I think that makes a huge difference. So yeah, I think it looks like really different. Yeah, this like glass fence. I don't know, in the screenshots it definitely makes it look way better than if it was completely open. I don't know if you guys will like that, but I don't know. I tried looking at it without the fence, and I just couldn't deal with it, so I added that fence in. And then here I am just putting some of the, I never know what to call these, but I use them in almost like all of my builds. They're those like wooden horizontal beam things. And for some reason, in like gameplay, I didn't really notice it then, but I do remember like editing this video and noticing it. But the vertical beams just kind of go back to their standard position, like they go all the way to the ground in the final build, or not in the final build, but I think in the download. And I'm not really sure why that happened, so you can adjust it if you want, but yeah. And then here is a very interesting room. So it's almost like a corridor. Okay, well, now I'm getting back into the dining room, but going back to that room, it's almost like a corridor that goes into the two bedrooms. So I guess it's kind of like a kid's wing in a way, like this section right here. And it just is a hallway that also has like a computer. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like the kids wing because it leads into both of the like teen bedrooms. So this, I guess, is more for your male sim or female sim, you know, it doesn't really matter. But it is really small, but it does fit everything decently well. I mean, there's a desk, there's a wardrobe, there's a bed. The only thing though is that the bed is a single bed. But like I said before in the video, all the bedrooms actually have their own bathroom, which is super nice. And the boys' bathroom, or well, this Sim's bathroom is actually like pretty decent size. It's actually the same size as the master bathroom. The master bathroom is probably one of the disappointments because it's not that big. It's the exact same size as this bedroom's bathroom. But, you know, I don't really care. I mean, as long as it can fulfill all your needs, it's really fine. And yeah, so just putting a couple of items around just to try to make it look a little bit more homely and lived in. Put a little basketball on the ground, I think right here, or not, yeah, there we go. And yeah, it has a bookshelf as well, so your sim can actually get to that, because I know it's kind of in the corner, but I tested it, and my sim could get a book, so that's good. And yeah, so with that corridor in the, like, outside of this bedroom, I'm actually not completely sure if it works. I don't want to say that, because what was weird is that I told my sim to go on the computer and like write jokes or something. He kept like canceling out the action, and I'm not really sure why. I thought it was because maybe the chair was too close to the wall, but when I told him to sit in the chair and then use the computer, that worked. So I'm not really sure what happened or why that was. I think that it works, and I think that my game was just kind of glitching out, but if it doesn't work, you might just have to delete that computer. I think there are other computers in the game. Actually, I don't think there's computers in the game. You can put a computer on any of the other desks, so it really doesn't matter, but yeah, just keep that in mind. And then I was just furnishing the boys' bathroom, and because I said the master bathroom is the exact same like floor plan and uses the exact same items, I didn't show that, so yeah, I just kind of skipped over it. But here is the master bedroom, and initially I was struggling very hard doing this, like trying to furnish this bedroom, but I think that it actually turns out quite well. If you remember from the family room where I pushed out the fireplace, it left like a nook in the back, and that connected to the master bedroom, and so I kind of just put like the entertainment console in there, and I really like it. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And this bedroom it's very, I don't know, like it's very dark, but I really like the way it turned out. This is one of my favorite rooms, especially when you see the screenshots. I think it looks really, really awesome. It's pretty cool. But I'm using like a lot of dark items in this room. Like the rug is very dark, and the cabinetry is really dark. And actually I paint some of the walls black. Now I don't know if that's gonna be like a huge hit amongst you guys, but I think it looks really cool. So yeah. And I have included my favorite sloth painting, which, yeah, there's only one in this build. Recently I've been doing 2 in all my builds, so yeah. And then this is when I decided to get a little bit crazy with this home. I added some of those really bright light strips. I actually don't know if you can adjust the brightness on those. I probably have to look into that. But yeah, and then I start using like lights in a lot of the rooms. So it is a very modern house, which I quite like. Sorry, I actually just ate, so I'm having like a little bit of indigestion. Yeah, so sorry about that. I definitely like ate way too much, and I'm feeling very full. But here I am making like putting black walls all over some of the rooms. Some of them have feature walls, and then that teen's bedroom actually has like 3 of the walls as black, and then 1 of the walls is white. I feel like sometimes when you make walls black, they make the room feel smaller, and that's probably not a good idea for that teen boy's bedroom that is actually already small, but I think it kind of works. Yeah, it's not that bad. So the teen girl's bedroom is a lot bigger, but one thing that I actually really like about the teen boy's bedroom is that it actually has 2 windows, whereas the girl's bedroom only has 1 window. So there are like pros and cons. Like one room is obviously bigger, but one room has like a lot more sunlight that can come in. So, you know, that's at least something that the teen boy's bedroom has that the girl's bedroom doesn't. So yeah. But this is the teen girl's bedroom, and I really wanted to make it like pretty colorful, so I'm adding a lot of like different sort of colors all over the place. There's no like specific color that I was sticking to. In the boys' bedroom, or the more masculine bedroom or whatever, there's definitely like a huge red red theme going on. Yeah, and then I might have gone a little bit too crazy with those lighting strips, but I don't know. I think it was kind of cool. So I actually don't remember if I remove them or if I keep them. I think I'll have to look at the screenshots to see if I keep them. But I feel like I thought I removed those. I don't know. And yeah, so this is one of the rare houses that I like the bathroom in. This is my favorite bathroom I think I've ever done. It doesn't look like much when I was furnishing it, but for some reason in the screenshots, I think it actually looks quite cool and nice. It's super black and white and super modern, which is completely my style, but I don't know, I really liked it. I think it also is because I used that like bathtub combo, or wait, what did I say? That shower and tub combo. And I don't think I've used that before in my videos, so I don't know, it turned out quite well. And yeah, so am I going to the outside already? I guess so. But yeah, so I just completed the courtyard and I just put are those bamboo trees? I'm not sure, but they're kind of sticking out. I will say it looks a little bit weird to have like trees sticking out of your house. I actually don't know what homes like in real life look like, because I know there are homes that have like a central courtyard. I mean, really cool homes that have a central courtyard. But does it look this weird from the top? How there's just like green trees sticking out of your house? It's quite interesting, I have to say. Yeah, and then originally I wanted it to have flat roofs because like I said, I was basing this off of a real life home and it did have flat roofs, but it just felt a little bit too bland, so I added these sloping roofs, and it gave me a little bit of trouble because it's an odd number of tiles like wide, so I decided to just put 3 and then I use a half wall to align that side. And I think that's fine just because the courtyard is like right there. I didn't want the courtyard to be right in the middle of the home, so it at least has that little section. Yeah, and then I put some of the roofs on, or some of the windows on the roofs, but actually I think in the screenshots you can't see it because the ceiling is all flat. I think there is a way that I can actually get, like you can actually see outside the roof windows, but at this point I didn't know how to do it, so I didn't include that. And yeah, so here is me trying to figure out something to do on the side of the house because it was super just straight and bland and boring. So I just put a little indent and just added some windows. And at this point, I'm like changing some of the windows around because I know some of them are unrealistic. Some of them like go through a wall or something like that. So just trying to do some stuff. And also, this house is like weird because I purposely put it off-centered. I don't know if that will annoy some of you guys, but I really wanted the one side of the house, the one with all the shrubs, to align or to be really close to the street. I know some of you will put this in like different lots, not necessarily in the specific lot in Oasis. Is it Oasis Springs? I think so, something Oasis. But I liked it, so I made it really close to the side of the lot. And I actually really like the way the landscaping turned out. It's a little bit weird because this is like the desert and like not many plants like grow there, but I like the landscaping. It's very simple and there's only like a little bit of trees or a little bit of shrubbery around the trees. But yeah. So here are the screenshots. This is a pretty cool, a pretty cool screenshot. Sorry, I started saying like cool and screenshot at the same time and it turned out really weird. But it's really cool how the roofs like looked very triangular. So yeah. But this is the inside foyer area. And none of this is really useful. Like you can't really store anything in the cabinets or like put anything on the shelves, but I like it. And then this is the bathroom. I love this screenshot for some reason. It's super black and white, but I love it for some reason. It's weird. Yep, and here's the kitchen with the refrigerator like smushed into the cabinet. Again, it's not useful, but in the download, I do make it useful, so you can actually cook some food. Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys will like it just because it's really black and white and a little bit of blue, but this is kind of my aesthetic. Maybe I would like it a little bit to be more like homely. This might be a little bit too cold, but I think it's fine. And then this actually turned out surprisingly well. I really like the way that feature wall turned out, and it actually has some storage as well. You can put things on top of the cabinets, and yeah. And then here, I'm not sure if I did anything different with my game, but for some reason, I loved all the screenshots where you can see the sunlight coming in, like this. Something about it seems like so realistic, how the sun is like shining into the room, and it looks good. Here is the inner courtyard, and also I didn't mention, you can't actually get into the courtyard, but I would just recommend adding like, I don't know, a door to get into the courtyard. Yeah, so you can actually like water and like tame the garden, or not tame the garden, like tend to the garden. So yeah, so here is the typically, I guess, stereotypical boys' room. It's very dark. It's got red. It's got a little bit of graffiti on the wall. And then here's the teen girl's bedroom. Very colorful. Yeah, she actually has room in her room to actually have a armchair, which is nice. And then I think this is the only screenshot of the like bedroom's bathroom. Yeah, just because the girl's room was a little bit different, and you saw me furnishing the boys' bedroom or bathroom. And then here is also one of my like favorite screenshots. The sunlight, look at that. It looks pretty cool. Also, the lights, they do look like lopsided in that screenshot, but trust me, they're not. Yeah. And then here's the floor plan. And then there's nothing on the second floor. It's just a roof. So that is really it. Thanks for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.